Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We're touching in very briefly with this resupply pod. It is still designated for Harmonia, although this one was launched to be a life support pod for our upcoming Venus station, which had a failure. We do need to make about an 80 meter per second correction. The node is 7 days out. We're just going to go ahead and try to do this now. Oh, RCS got turned off. That should be interesting. Okay, good. We have connection, but we need to basically put ourselves on course to do this aero-capture at this rather nice, pretty much equatorial something or other. So I think let me just double check that this command went through. Yeah, toggle RCS. Okay, good. A couple minutes to kill here. And pop us out of time warp. Excellent. RCS is active. There is no excess fuel on here. So basically the 812 meters per second that we have in the tanks is all we've got. Meaning that if we fail to aero-capture at Venus, this is just going to go flying off into space and be useless. Is that a latent strut? Yep, sure enough. Okay. Don't zoom in on it too much because then the texture looks real weird. Yeah, we're just going to bleed off all of our delta V through these thrusters. No big deal. But I should have made this correction probably right when we left Earth. Oh, we still are charging our batteries. That's interesting. I thought they'd be almost entirely obstructed by the sun, but I guess not. Yeah, .96. That's awesome. All right, let's jump out here to the map view. Lay down on the thrusters. Yeah, not quite fast enough. We'll tell computer to hold the node and light the AJ-10. Sounds like a good light to me. And we'll see how much savings we get doing this burn 7 days and 1 hour ahead of time. Moves pretty slow, so I'll just be speeding all of this up in post. I really should have done this maneuver like just as we were leaving Earth's SOI, or at the very least, you know, maybe even in Earth SOI. It probably would have cost 3 or 4 meters per second instead of close to 80, but at least we're getting a very nice equatorial looking approach, which is going to make coming home from Venus for the crew a whole lot easier, I suspect anyway. The only other thing we sent back from Venus was a photographic canister return. So there's our current periapsis, right around 113 kilometers. When we get to Venus, we will probably be making adjustments to that. And then there's this node to capture, 3-point-something kilometers. Anyway, old me. All right, and there's our, I don't know, that gives us a baseline. 3.867 kilometers per second, and because we have nothing else really to do, here's all our origami sats, so hopefully we'll have good comms while we're here, perhaps and maybe, so we can, yeah, we got good power. Let's just warp on in. Yep, that's Jupiter. Where is, we should be facing laterally in. I don't know if we're going to get a dot or not. Venus, there she is. Alright, let's watch this happen. Our nice time warpy approach to Venus, very suddenly interrupted by Kerbal alarm clock. That'll happen a few times, but the shiny dot disappears, replaced by a small yellow orb that brings itself up on the horizon, looking very pretty, and then Kerbal alarm clock interrupts us yet again, but we'll just continue our descent. Alright, very quickly, no, we are not going to face the prograde just yet. We will do that a bunch later. We still got like 6 hours to kill before we try to make this maneuver, so before we reset our delay, let's retract 2 panels. Still have all of our comms? No, looks like, yeah, we do, actually. Okay, good. That one's retracted, and that one's... Make sure this targeting is good. Excellent. Alright, let's see. Time to periapsis. Periapsis is, well, we'll probably be shifting that. don't actually know if that's going to be low enough. I'm trying to remember any of the things that we've aero-captured here at Venus, and I'm coming up a little short. Let's go ahead and get ourselves facing in-ish. Say it was someone like 110, a little lower, maybe. No, we don't want to be in the atmosphere all that long. I'm just going to take a guess. Really, we just need to basically capture. If we can even get a very high elliptical orbit. But this is by far the heaviest thing we've ever sent to Venus, so I don't actually want to get it in there too low, because then it'll overheat and explode and die, which would be bad. Alright, so let's set our signal delay. Oh no, wait, we need to wait for our panels to retract so that we can do the boot sequence first. There we go. Alright, so we'll hit periapsis at about 6 hours 34 minutes, so we'll go 6 hours, we'll just say, man, I don't know, 18 minutes? We'll retract this, deactivate, and then on the other side of it, we'll just say 6 hours and 50 minutes, not 50 millimeters. Extend, and then activate you, and activate you. There we go. Jump out and take a look at the map view. All right. Yeah, coming in the dark side. What's our angle of comms? Yeah, that was not entirely necessary, but I do want to see my line back to Earth. Wow. Those things got ejected way weird. But they are inside Venus's orbit almost all the way down to Mercury. That is hilarious. Some unknown objects. We're not going to worry about those. Mouse pad is dirty. Sorry about that. Alright, nope. I don't need to get distracted. I also don't need... Okay. Dish comms, so that's what we're looking at that way. We will likely not have comms with Earth when we make our braking pass. So there's that. And now the clouds have disappeared. That's interesting. The clouds disappeared. Anyway, we're going to bring this periapsis way down. I think Project Origami captured at like 104. This is easily 4 times the tonnage. So we're just going to roll the dice and shoot for 95.2 kilometers. We'll time warp ourselves on in here and get to the point where our shutdown sequence radio's in. Alright, there we go. And panels retracted, comms are off. We still have connection thanks to our support satellites. And we should probably get ourselves angled into prograde. Yeah, no fuel in here, so all we have is 726 meters per second. We'll get a bit more after we can ditch the heat shield. Yeah, so we only really have one pass at this. If we don't capture, we're kinda out of luck. Alright, nose down. We are inside the atmosphere officially. Alright, fingers crossed. I don't know if sending something this heavy to Venus is even gonna work. It's certainly, this kind of tonnage hasn't been tried before. I don't think we've ever tried to capture something this low in the atmosphere either. Oop. Yeah. A blade of struts. This is completely normal. Wow, those burned off fast. I'm gonna go to the last two. A blader. A blading? Heat shield's getting mighty warm, yeah. Whoa. Oh, those are the other strut end sections. Yeah. Probably should have remembered about those. Alright. Just hoping for no heat warnings. No heat warnings, no heat warnings. No whammies, no whammies. Alright, 20 seconds to periapsis. We've bled, like 200 meters per second. This isn't going very well, so let's use some thruster fuel. Why not? Be entirely too excessive. On the way back up. Alright. Half of our ablator is gone. Hey, there's capture. Oh, thank God, this is viable. Oh, 100 kilometers current altitude. We'll probably stop holding down the thrusters. 1.7 kilometers from our target orbit, which actually there's probably a little bleed room on top of that. Alright. .110, we're still slowing down, just not that much. The thickness of the atmosphere subsides very rapidly at about 110 kilometers. That's still 1.5 kilometers shy of our target goal, but we are in fact in orbit, which is cool. I guess we can make many much higher level passes. And we still got some ablator left in here. Alright, and we are exoatmospheric. We can now time warp around to our reboot. We can turn that off. We can reset our signal delay to nothing. There we go. And we'll just go ahead and give the command to extend our other two panels. Connection has been reestablished. We will be keeping the heat shield. We're going to go ahead and warp on out to our apoapsis. What in the hell? Okay, alright, now it works. Give ourselves a little bump, just to make sure that we are clear of the atmosphere. What do we... Oh yeah, there's more things happening. We don't need flight computer messing us up right now. Pretty good comm link, I'd say. I mean, if you're on the side of the planet with all of these things, generally speaking. So we're just going to put this in a parking orbit for the next year or so. 7 minutes out, we need to about face. The clouds came back. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you, Venus. Slow that down. Engine light. And we'll just probably shut it down right at 200. There we go. I don't want to eject the heat shield, although I know our delta V numbers will show a lot more, because I'm fairly convinced we're still going to aero brake this into a little bit of a lower orbit, something more suitable for our station, but we'll decide all that once our station actually gets here, and then move forward along those lines. Thing is crispy. Hooah. Alright. Anyway, well, we got this successfully here. Now, if we can just get the rest of it and then accrue, we'll be in pretty good shape for doing some Venus orbit science. So, you know, there's that. So, that's going to do it for this one, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one. So, until then, see you later.